Hello and welcome to Healthy Ever After with Grace and Michelle. Here at Healthy Ever After, we discuss the health and wellness journey, bringing up important topics while striving to live our healthiest lives. We'll bring special guests each time, experts who can answer your questions in real time. So drop your thoughts and your questions in the comments section so we can have a healthy conversation together. I'm Grace, the Director of Solution Strategy for our chronic conditions and the subject matter expert for all of our chronic conditions. I'm a registered nurse by background and also a certified diabetes care and education specialist.
Awesome. Hello, I am Michelle. I'm an expert coach with Teladoc Health. I specialize in health and wellness coaching, and I work within our diabetes, hypertension, and weight management programs.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. So today we have a special guest, Scout Lennon. Since 2019, Scout has been a certified health and wellness coach. When the pandemic actually struck in 2020, there was a significant need for mental health support, and Scout jumped in virtual mental health care, teaming up with therapists and other certified coaches, where together they use core coaching skills and proven tools from cognitive behavioral therapy to dialectical behavioral therapy, that was a tongue twister, and acceptance commitment therapy. While Scout's background is in exercise science and functional medicine, she firmly believes that mental health is the key to successful behavioral changes. Scout?
Yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome. Hi, everybody joining. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm really excited to have this conversation on stress, which is such an important topic that we all have ups and downs with, I think.
Definitely. And where in the world are you calling from, Scout?
So I am in Southern California, enjoying some sunshine right now. But yeah, calling in from California.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with us today. It's a big topic, right? We've all heard the S word, stress. And today we're going to be talking about stress and overall mental health. Stress is around us all the time, and it can make some daily life situations harder. We're going to be asking Scout if she can help us understand where stress comes from and how we can better navigate it. So, Scout, what are some stressors that are in our daily lives that may cause us some issues regarding our health?
Yeah. Stress. Some relationship issues with our family members or significant others, that can cause a lot of stress. Major life changes, like anytime we do something new and challenging, it's stressful. I coach a lot of people that are starting a new job, or they move to a new city and a new state, and we're so much more resilient than we believe sometimes. So there's a lot of stress management tools and techniques that we could really do. But Michelle, you're a coach too, so would you like to add anything to that?
I think that you nailed it. Number one. Number two, I think stress, it's a feeling that we are supposed to have. And I think we're going to get into that a little bit, right? It's a part of life, but how do we navigate that? And yeah, as a coach, I feel like it's kind of interesting that we do things that we know may be stressful. We put ourselves in that situation. Not to make it about me, but we just got a foster cat. Stressful situation, right? But what are some stress reliefs? Those couple pets a day, right? So no, I think you nailed all of the different stressors, and there's obviously plenty more. But no, thank you so much.
And that brings up I just wanted to add to that, the change of your environment whenever there's, an added individual or, everyone has to kind of get on a new routine and everything. So, yeah, hopefully everything's going good with the foster cat.
Capone, right? That was the name. Such a great
earned
name.
the name. Yes.
Oh gosh. So, Scout, you mentioned how stress is an emotion. I know you touched on this a little bit, Michelle, but when you get the question about stress, like what is stress? How can we better understand how stress functions in our body and what it's supposed to do?
Yeah. Yeah. So, stress as an emotion, it shows up in our body as cortisol. And stress has this really bad reputation of it's so negative. Stress is so bad for us. And we first want to, have a healthy perspective on stress. Like, how can I use this stress to my advantage and manage it in small doses? Because without this stress, it'd be hard to get through all the motions of every day and have those face the responsibilities we have here. So the stress is really, showing up in as that cortisol, and just getting comfortable and familiar with it versus identifying that stress and kind of panicking a little bit. We want to welcome it and use it a bit to our advantage here. And, some ways that we can set ourselves up for success to have a healthier relationship with our stress is, really having how are we starting our day? Are we managing our time well? Are we taking care of our body? Did we get 7-8 hours of sleep the night before? Are we making time for exercise and eating a healthy breakfast? That really gives our body the ability to better regulate the cortisol and set ourselves up for stressors that maybe haven't happened yet, that are going to be happening further in the day. So yeah, lots of little tips there. And gosh, anything else you'd like to add to that, Michelle? Am I missing anything there?
No, I think you mentioned the word cortisol, which I think is a good segue for my next question. There is something I'm curious about, knowing that stress is an emotion that we are as human beings meant to feel from time to time. What does that have to mean with like fight or flight? And how sometimes that is a feeling we unfortunately do experience. So what do you have to say about fight or flight? I guess that's a question that we get sometimes as a coach.
Yeah, definitely. So, that fight or flight mode is really our body's way to, be in survival mode, and, making sure we're performing all those tasks. And that's coming from, our nervous system. And sometimes we can get so stressed, we almost want to avoid things and like run away from it. So getting comfortable in that mode to, deal with that stress there. There's some great ways that we can, switch over into our more rest and digest system, which is our opposite nervous system. And, those are things like, taking those mental breaks from the thing that's causing us stress, and taking deep breaths, or maybe it's getting out for a walk and, drinking some water. But it's totally normal to have some of that fight or flight mode. And I really like to, coach people on checking in with yourself and, asking yourself, what am I trying to survive right now? What is my body trying to protect me from? And, how long is this duration going to last or maybe happen for? Because a lot of times we're in that stress and it's temporary. The stress feels really permanent, and like we're going to be in fight and flight mode for long term.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that's helpful to kind
It's
of.
super helpful. And what you just mentioned, take a step back. When you get like 2 emails in a row, it's all automatically like, I'm in the fight or flight. And it's like, it's an email. Why am I like that? You know what I mean? So that's
Yes.
that's a really good tool. But you did mention something earlier, cortisol, which is something that we've heard stress can cause a lot of issues, right? Especially when it comes to those with chronic conditions, those trying to lose weight. So that being said, what are some ways in which stress can manifest in our bodies? And what should we look for to see if we can alleviate stress? So what are some physical signs that you may be stressed out, and what can we do about it?
Yeah, definitely. So, stress, some of the like first symptoms and signs, which can lead to longer term things, is really just that fatigue and that exhaustion, or maybe struggling with relaxing at night and falling asleep. And and maybe we're having a hard time focusing, and we're feeling the need to kind of frantically multitask a bit. So all of this can lead to maybe some bigger issues with our cardiovascular problems, because we're putting so much of that cortisol and that stress on our body and our heart, immune system and suppression. I'm sure we've all had a stressful week, and then a week later we're sick with a cold, or no, or our body just kind of, shuts down on us a bit. It's a way our body is trying to preserve us a bit to get that rest that we're craving and needing. Stress also affects our appetite. So it can cause digestion issues, or make us want to, not eat at all, or maybe, stress eat or overeat. And then that falls into, maybe weight gain or struggling with losing weight, because our body's in that constant stress mode. And then on top of that too, just it can, accelerate aging and lead to chronic stress, can lead to burnout, which, burnout's a very popular, trendy word right now, I'm sure. And it's really caused to kind of that prolonged exposure of high levels of stress. And our body can really, kind of just burn out on us, and we have a low energy, lack of motivation, and we've kind of maximized our neural stress pathways there.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too, like with some of our programs, if I'm working with, let's say, a member who is really trying to pinpoint why their blood sugar increased, I know some of the first things people go to are, what did I eat? Did I eat something wrong? And then we take a step back and we notice, well, no, it could have been that stressful situation you were in that can elevate the blood sugar. Same thing with that blood pressure. It's something that we see all the time that a lot of people don't necessarily gravitate towards as the first reason why. So no, thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, really good points. I know with my past experience as a diabetes educator, there's this thing called dawn phenomenon. So that release of cortisol that happens overnight for people who have diabetes, you can't control that, right? It just is something that happens. So really good point there. Just to kind of tack on to some of that, I know you mentioned that with chronic stress, it can accelerate aging. What else, or how else can it affect us with chronic stress?
Yeah. Chronic stress. And are you thinking more larger scale, Grace, or
Yeah. Anything you can share there?
Yeah. So, on top of the physical kind of, problems that we talked about, it can also lead to, some mental health struggles and mental health problems. It can, the more kind of of this stressful headspace we're in, it makes it difficult to have positive emotions like enjoyment and fun and laughter, and which is, what life is supposed to be about. And the world we live in is so fast paced, and there's such a demand on how to maximize and optimize our time here. And another way to fight stress for our mental health is to make sure we're engaging in those activities that make us happy, and give us those positive emotions. So maybe it's spending time with your animals, or making plans with good friends, and or taking a vacation. I talk to so many people I coach who are like, I have, all this PTO saved up, but, my work needs me, my family needs me. And I am 100% behind, using your days off, and using those days off, and going on a vacation, and we're supposed to be living life, not just surviving life. So
agree. 100% Scout. And I know you mentioned pets. So today happens to be National Hug Your Dog Day. So if you have a dog, make sure you're hugging your dog. I know that they definitely can help with like stress relief, man's best friend, for sure. So just throw that plug in there.
all the positive endorphins, whether it's and hug an animal, a dog, or a person. Hugs are always good.
Totally. Question, what about like social media, right? Like technology, how does that affect someone's stress level?
Yes. It definitely can affect our stress levels. And it's typically in it increases our stress. Social media it's that instant dopamine hit. It's that instant rush of look at all this excitement. So it can really hit us in a quick, fast way, and then we can feel really depleted after that. So as humans, we really want to be mindful and protect our energy tank and how much energy we have. So when our energy is being drained, it makes it more challenging for our body to battle that stress and fight that stress. Really thinking about how much time you're spending on your phone, and it's not even just social media, it's checking work emails, or from the minute your alarm goes off in the morning. Some of the most positive things you can do is starting your day maybe without your phone, even if it's just 30 minutes for some mindfulness, or setting up screen limits on your phone to have it be an hour a day, or making sure it's a healthy thing, for a way that works for you. I personally just deleted a social media account, and it has been such a difference to my energy and mood. So, maybe that's a challenge for you too. Can you do a week without it, or a 30-day detox of social media? Because, all of that is exposure to things that can, we have an emotional reaction to.
Yeah, that's a great challenge. I recently deleted my Zillow app, so I stopped looking at houses just for fun.
Were you on the market or just looking?
just all the time looking at houses. Yeah.
Got it. Oh my gosh. It's so true. And to expect someone to be totally don't go on social media ever again. Some people can do it. Some people are like, are you kidding me? So it's something interesting too, right? If someone's using social media, blue lights right before bedtime, you're sleeping less, you're getting less sleep, you're waking up tired, and it's almost this negative feedback cycle. So it's even looking like when I coach some members, okay, social media definitely can have some stressors that it causes. Maybe we don't do it right before bed, right? Mm-hmm. Or certain situations like that. But one question did come in, and I actually I'm curious here too. The question was, are some people more prone to stress than others? Whether, the specific question was genetically, but what do you have to say about that? Is there a genetic component to stress?
Yeah, it's such an interesting question. So we do learn our coping skills in childhood, and what we observed growing up. Was it a stressful home environment? And how did our parents react to stress, or how did the adults in our lives react to stress? So I think it really depends. It's kind of on a case by case basis, but we all have the same physiological response to stress and those same like stress pathways. But our stress pathways can become overactivated to the point where they're functioning on high level, and we kind of forget how to relax, and it can be really challenging to relax and kind of disconnect and unplug from things. So, if you're somebody out there that, identifies with, I feel like I'm maybe, stress is very high in my life. Think about relaxation and enjoyment. But I mean, with how things are today, I mean, we all have so much stress. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's very, I want to normalize, like, it's normal to struggle with this, and stress can be so challenging. Even talking about stress makes stress come up sometimes.
Right.
So true, right? And I mean, with all the advice that we're given in terms of our health, right? It's not just try to manage your stress. It's, how much water are we drinking? Are we getting enough exercise going on? So for those who are just getting started with their health journey, what are some things we should remember to not become overwhelmed, also known as being stressed out, while we're trying to manage our health, which, keep in mind, stress is part of our health. So what are some advices there on how to manage stress and overall healthy living?
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up, Michelle. And this is where, working with a coach and really setting some intentions here for yourself, getting started on a health journey, or making a change to set some goals for yourself. And my biggest advice there is to have realistic expectations for yourself. Are you hoping to, have a 180 makeover and start going to the gym 5 days a week, and sleep 8 hours, and have this perfect lifestyle change? That would be difficult for anyone. So really being realistic and making it easy and obvious for you, where it's maybe it's starting just 10 minutes out of your day to meditate, or to journal, or keep your phone in a drawer so you don't see it and you have that 10 minutes off of it. We really want to celebrate those small changes and those small wins, because that energy and that momentum can change and carry. And I want to bring up one of my favorite words as a coach here, of SMART goals, which I'm sure, Michelle, you're a fan of these too.
Oh yeah.
But we want to focus on one thing at a time and get really specific with it. And Teladoc has some great resources out there on how to set SMART goals, and make that a challenge for yourself, and, set up accountability with a coach or a friend or a loved one. And finally too, just, show yourself some grace and some compassion. We're all flawed. No one's perfect as humans, so we make mistakes, and making mistakes is part of life, and it's part of the change process. If it were easy, we would all feel like we have perfect lives and all of our goals are accomplished. But when we do fall and slip up, give yourself a break there and a pat on the back, and show yourself some compassion. Maybe you had a really hard week or a hard day. So that's super important. And sometimes too, if you're somebody that struggle with consistency or stress, maybe we need to make a plan to fail, make a plan to make a mistake. If you set a goal for yourself to go to the gym for 30 minutes in the morning, and you wake up late, instead of, beating yourself up over that, maybe the backup plan is to go on a 15-minute walk during your lunch break. So, we kind of strive for perfection sometimes. And I really like the idea of having a plan B, so we can still feel accomplished and successful.
I love that, Scout. I know we've talked about this, like this all or nothing mentality. And so
Mhm.
like the setback can be a setup for a comeback. As cheesy as that may sound, I think it's so true. We have another question that came in. So what about different personality types when it comes to stress, like an empath versus someone who maybe isn't as affected by things? How would you address something like that when it comes to stress?
Ooh, that is, gosh, that could be a whole nother live discussion. And empaths are have the superpower of feeling your emotions really strongly and intensely. So, and a lot of this is, how to de-stress might look a little bit different for somebody who's more extroverted versus introverted. An
Yeah.
extroverted person might, want to plan a trip with friends or, go to a concert. And an introverted person might want to start a new book um, and needs that alone time to like recharge their soul and recharge their battery. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no judgment there. So I think really honing in on your personality and using your strengths to manage your stress and recharge your battery can be such a superpower. um, and, for people who are empaths, give yourself permission to feel all the feelings, good or bad, and ride those waves, surf the waves out. All of our emotions are temporary, and, we always survive because we're so resilient as humans. So I think working on letting go of some of that judgment of like, oh, I'm so sensitive, and I wish I wasn't this way. It's like, yeah, definitely kind of feel empowered with, what your skill sets are and your
Yeah,
strengths.
I love that. Feel
Right?
all the
Yeah.
feels. Feel all the
And
feels.
it's feel the feels and also like setting boundaries. If you are friends or know somebody who isn't an empath and is maybe more outgoing, being clear with them. For me to recharge my battery, this is what it looks like. Right?
Yeah,
Clear is kind. Someone who doesn't react in the same manner may just not get it. Right?
love
So
that.
just being open with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I know we talked about like social media, but there's so much going on in the world today. When you look at the news, even, right, that can be so stressful. And we all know that our mental health is health. So, when would you recommend we seek out professional help with these issues?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. And, on the lines of seeking help, with our mental health, I think it takes a lot of courage to reach out and seek help and ask for help. Even if it's low levels to high levels of stress. So we always feel like oh, I have to figure this out and I have to solve this, but there's so much support out there, and we always feel so much better even if we just talk to a friend or a counselor or a therapist or anything like that. But when stress is really high and it's starting to kind of display in some symptoms of changes in mood and appetite, poor sleep where just falling asleep seems tough, we're feeling very sleep deprived, we're maybe struggling just to focus and get through the day. Stress can do that to us where getting through the workday can feel like running a marathon. And typically more emotions might develop from that because we get frustrated with the whole stress process. So as a mental health coach, I'm all about prevention and being proactive about our stress and our mental health. So I think it's always a good time to seek help and talk to somebody, but yeah, definitely if you're feeling alone or you know having some challenges with getting through your daily responsibilities, that's definitely a time to seek professional help.
Very good.
Yeah. It's so true. And I'm glad you said that. There's no harm in doing that. You're actually doing yourself a favor, right? If you think you need it, there's no harm in seeking out help. I am curious to some people who are kind of like, what are some ways you recommend to members to reduce stress in their day-to-day? We want to hear some examples of that, and then also ones that we can reflect in our everyday lives. So what are some things that you recommend on a day-to-day basis or just on a weekly basis that can help keep our stress manageable?
Yes, yes. Such a great area. And with all of these suggestions, I want people that are listening, pick what sounds enjoyable to you. If you're somebody that, hates going to the gym, don't force yourself to go to the gym. But two of my favorites for stress management, a lot of it is self-care, but our brain has such a strong negativity bias. It's always trying to protect us from harm. And so when that stress is there, we can really get stuck in it. So we want to combat it and like fight it with positive thoughts and positive emotions. So do things that make you think happy thoughts and make you feel happy emotions. One of the most proven ways to do that is through a gratitude practice. Really sitting down and writing down what are 10 things I'm appreciative of or grateful of that I already have or I already accomplished. We spend so much time at our jobs or just kind of worrying about the future and what we're striving for. Like, I'll be so much happier if I lose that 10 pounds or I get that work promotion. And sometimes we need to just hit the pause button and take inventory of, we have a happy, healthy family, or, I have a roof over my head. There's food in the fridge. So, gratitude and doing that as a practice really kind of, trains our brain to think more positively. So if you're having some negative thoughts, try to think of 2 positive thoughts to outweigh them. And then, another tip here is, mindfulness and, mindfulness-based stress reduction. There's so much research behind it. There's so many different people that benefit from it, but it helps, really lower our stress. And it's something that we can do proactively, but also reactively. So if we're having just a really stressful day, really carving out time just to take a few deep breaths. And, there's lots of different breathing exercises out there. I know Teladoc has some great, resources for, box breathing or doing a quick body scan or even just, checking in with our senses and, what do we see? Are we out in nature and, can enjoy all of that. So a mindfulness practice can be great. And, just that's self-care. How do you like to unwind and relax? Like, maybe it's taking a bubble bath or, doing a puzzle at the end of the day or stretching, and, be curious about it. Be curious, for yourself, like what's going to bring you that joy and really, really change your, or help you relax.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to put you both on the spot. What do you do? What's a simple stress reliever that you do in your day to day? I know for me, I just in my work environment, having little, I think I'll be happy today. Just a little plant, right? Just in my environment. Yeah. What do you guys do?
Yeah. I love that. Music for me is such a huge stress reliever. And lately when I take a shower, I love to listen to music, and then, those around may be subjected to my singing, but that's a big one for me. And I do think self-care is like self-preservation, and I love massages. So that's kind of like my go-to.
Awesome. Yes, I second the music. If I'm stressed, I will force myself to get up and dance to physically shake it out and get that tension. I'm a very I hold a lot of stress physically. So, things like exercise and yoga and dancing really kind of just help my body reset. So if you're somebody out there that, likes to overthink when you're stressed, your body might need to get more involved and activated. So yeah, dancing is a big one for me. But relaxing, I am a candle freak. Like I will buy a candle anywhere I go. I love the smell, that smell,
Certain
and
smells, right, can help you like just get to that place.
Yes, definitely. And I just saw a question about aromatherapy. Someone else,
Yeah.
else out there likes scents and um
Is there
and
any proof to that? Is that like a thing? I know it's always used in spas, and it definitely puts me in my place. And like, I love lemongrass and all the aromatherapies, but like, is there
yeah.
some research behind that being able to reduce stress?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not too familiar with like which scents are. I know lavender has a lot of research
Okay.
behind it.
Sleep.
Lavender
Yeah.
can help with sleep and stress reduction. Yeah, I've worked with people in coaching. They spray a lavender scent in their pillows to help sleep, or a lavender bubble bath, or candles. And I feel like lavender is something you love or hate. I personally like it, but there's a lot of other relaxing like scents and smells out there. Yeah, no, there's definitely, research behind there, because, whenever we're engaging in our senses, we're coming back to the present moment. And usually when we're stressed out, we're thinking about something that's already happened or may or might not happen in the future. So being present, and enjoying nature, being outside, or engaging in our sense of smell, or maybe it's watching a funny video, or a video you have of being out with friends, or at one of your favorite concerts. Like those are all ways to kind of just be more present with yourself and in the day.
Yeah. I never thought of it like that, right? That what the smell is doing is bringing you back, like, this is where I am, and kind of recentering you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yes.
this has
Grounding.
been awesome. Yeah, grounding. With it, I am curious. We spent a lot of time talking about stress, and I've had several good takeaways. I'm sure other people have as well. But is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah. Really the biggest thing is, stress is necessary. It's a requirement of just being human. And being looking at your perspective with stress. And sometimes I even use the visual of, I mean, I like to exercise, but for me, stress is like carrying a set of dumbbells all day long, like for my work day. And then when the work day's over, I put the dumbbells down, and I'm like, proud of myself, and it's time to relax and de-stress and unwind. So, sometimes having a visual like that can be helpful, but, yeah, really, nurture that relationship you have with stress, and also, engage in ways to de-stress and decompress and relax, because we have more power and control than we think we do in that sense, to kind of calm down our nervous system a bit. And lastly is self-compassion. I think learning to be encouraging and kind to ourselves can be such a challenge for a lot of people. It's so much easier to display that to our loved ones and friends and people we take care of. But we need to learn to also show that to ourselves, and stay loving and kind and compassionate through those stressful periods and stressful moments. And then again, just asking for help, even just saying out loud, I had a really stressful day, can take a lot of weight off your mind and off your shoulders, I think.
Yeah, that's really good. I had a stressful day. I'm not cooking dinner today.
Yeah.
I need help with dinner.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
help, or let's go out to eat.
There you go.
You know, whatever, listening to your needs and communicating those needs. And that also comes back to setting boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of the times we feel like I have to do it all and I have to do it all super, super well. And so yeah, definitely nurturing that relationship with ourself, and you know, being honest with, you know, am I capable of this today, or do I need some extra help here?
I love that. Oh my gosh. Scout, thank you so much. This has been an awesome live and connection with you. I definitely know one of my biggest takeaways is when I'm in a negative headspace, which creates stress. You said write down 2 positives, right? I mean, that positive, like you said, could be I woke up today and a breeze hit my face, or there was enough milk in the fridge for me to put in my coffee, right? 2 little things that you may not think about. So I really
Yeah.
like that and appreciate the talk.
Yeah, so many good nuggets and pearls to walk away with. So really appreciate you, Scout. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to all who tuned in today, and be sure to check back to find out about our next live event that's coming in July. But until then, we can keep the conversation going on our social channels. Drop us a line with any topics you'd love to hear us chat about next time. But until we meet again on Healthier Ever After, take care, everyone. Thank you.
Yes. And hug your dog.
Hug your dog.